TGIF. Welcome back, thankfully it is Friday. But before your weekend starts, let's give you the Daily Takes news burst for Friday, November 6th, sponsored by Edge Messaging.
Today marked the worst and deadliest day in Wisconsin's battle with the COVID-19 pandemic. There were 62 new deaths reported in the last 24 hours. 244 additional people went to the hospital. And a staggering 6,141 new COVID-19 cases. Record daily highs for new cases and deaths. In the first 6 days of November, Wisconsin has now reported 30,695 new cases and 225 deaths. Since the pandemic hit Wisconsin this March, there have only been 2 months, September and October, that had more reported COVID-19 cases than were reported in Wisconsin in the first 6 days of this week. The death toll for COVID-19 in Wisconsin is now 2,256. Since the pandemic hit Wisconsin this March, there have only been 2 months, September and October, that had more reported COVID-19 cases than were reported in Wisconsin in the first 6 days of this week. The death toll for COVID-19 in Wisconsin is now 2,256. There are 1,787 patients in Wisconsin hospitals with the disease, another daily record. 385 of these patients remain in intensive care. COVID patients account for 18% of all occupied hospital beds in the state, and 94% of all available beds in southeast Wisconsin are currently filled. Wisconsin Assembly Speaker Robin Vos is directing the Assembly Committee on Campaigns and Elections to use its investigatory powers to immediately review how the election was administered. Vos says Wisconsin's election system is, quote, one of the best in the country, but that Wisconsin citizens deserve to know their vote counted. There should be no question as to whether the vote was fair and legitimate, and there must be absolute certainty that the impending recount finds any and all irregularities, he said.
This podcast was sponsored by Edge Messaging. For strategic, political communications at the speed of now, turn to Edge Messaging. 262-290-EDGE. That's 262-290-3343. Or visit edgemessaging.com.